The I-named storm has become infamous in the Atlantic Basin in recent years, and unfortunately Hurricane Idalia is looking to add to that tally. Currently on approach to the Florida Big Bend region, you can kind of see over the past 24 hours its structure and its sort of symmetry has really improved with these rotating bursts of convection and this kind of expanding cloud field as the storm enters an environment with less wind shear, a little bit more of a favorable dynamic environment to really build up more of that energy in its developing inner core over time. And you can really see this in the radar mosaic from the National Weather Service here. The storm's about a couple hundred miles west of Key West here, and you see a not completely symmetric eye wall, but you can kind of see the development of a sort of minimum in precipitation and some more of this heavier rainfall, even detected 30,000 feet above the surface, which is what this radar is pretty much scanning for us, able to wrap around a pretty decent way and be stronger on the west side than it was, say, 24 or 48 hours ago. Generally, Idalia is moving northward, and over time it's expected to take a turn to the northeast and encounter some of the warmest water on the planet, with sea surface temperatures near about 90 degrees Fahrenheit in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. Idalia is forecast to make landfall Wednesday morning as a major hurricane, potentially even a Category 4 hurricane in the Big Bend of Florida, an area that has never seen a storm this strong in the historical record. And it's also an area that's very storm surge prone, which I'll get to in just a second here. And its long-term future is very uncertain after eventually exiting the coast along the Carolinas, according to the National Hurricane Center forecast from late this morning. And this forecast is actually on the eastern edge of the sort of model guidance here. This is an example of an ensemble, which we talked about last time on Tropical Tracker, using the GFS American model, and the sort of center of this cluster kind of depicting the conditions or the possible scenarios tomorrow morning pretty much centers this right over Tallahassee, one of the biggest or one of the most populated areas along the Florida coastline here, along the panhandle of the state. In general, we can expect conditions to worsen through the night and especially into tomorrow morning before its eventual landfall, so preparations really throughout the state of Florida should be rushed to completion, especially in this area near the intersection of Interstate 10 and Interstate 75 and accompanying coastal areas where some of the nastiest weather is to be expected, along with particularly troublesome storm surge values on the order of 10 to 15 feet forecast from the Osceola River near Tallahassee down even towards the Tampa Bay, an area that doesn't necessarily see too much storm surge, but could be seeing values as high as 4 to 7 feet, and that could cause significant inundation, relatively low-lying areas here. And although this section of Florida is not the most populated by any means, this is something that these residents have not seen pretty much ever. And it's something that's particularly worrisome as we go into the morning hours, with all the fuel in the world really for Idalia to continue strengthening on approach until landfall. I'll have more on Idalia's history as well as Hurricane Franklin in the next edition of Tropical Tracker. Water Watch is coming up next.